Yeah, so I've been testing the M277, and this gun is incredible, okay? And I've narrowed it down to a couple things. First and foremost, hollow points is absolutely a must. It's an absolute must. And I'll show you right here. I'm just going to use the firing range just to give you an example. So, that was a terrible example right there. So basically with this, if you could get 2 headshots and then a body shot, you'll be golden. Okay, as of right now, I do have the hollow points that are loaded. And honestly, when you get a headshot or 2, it makes the difference between this being a 3-hit kill or a 4-hit kill. You see that? That was 3 hits. One right there. That's 2 and 3. And then the thing about that is, if you have 2 headshots, 1 body shot will take them down. 2 headshots, a body shot should be able to take them down. Now, this goes without saying, that range actually carries. So 38, 38, 38, 38. If I see them replicate that, 38, 38, 38, 38. Now if I can see that, I don't know if the health regens on these locations. I might have to do it a little quicker, but you get the idea. It's a big difference. Now, of course, having more opportunities for other parts of the gun is great. It's a great thing too, but with those close range engagements, that makes a huge difference. So if I do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I could do 3, right? I could do 3 and still get the kill. Barely though, barely. However, if it's 2 headshots and then a body, it will not kill him. It'll require the 4th hit. See that? So I'm gonna show you again. 1, 2, 3. Now that would have killed them if I had the hollow point rounds. So when you're in those close engagements where somebody runs up on you, this, of course, you know, you gotta be careful with your aiming, but you tend to be more sporadic with your aiming when it's a close quarters engagement. You're just kind of letting it fly. You're just letting it happen. So you could still do a 3-hit kill if they're all headshots. But the odds of that are not that great because the guns in this game with the bloom, the way that works, doesn't work exactly in your favor. As opposed to going and equipping the hollow point round and then getting back in the action. You can see boom, boom, boom. That takes it out right there. Boom, boom, boom. That takes them out. And it's the same thing at range if you can manage to land those shots. I don't know. If you can land them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. See that? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, huge difference with the hollow point rounds. We've established that. So the other parts of keeping the gun ready for whatever is the accuracy while you're shooting and moving. Now, I like to strafe. I've always been the kind of person to strafe, and a lot of the success in my gunfights is because I strafe. And the reason with that, now I'm not going to shoot any targets. I'm going to shoot in between so you can see how the weapon tracers are flying around. So now here's straight up. See how it started to get a little bit loose at the end with the recoil? And these are controlled bursts. These are for the most part very controlled bursts, so I'm not going too crazy. What starts to affect it is when you're strafing left and right. So if you go left and right, you could actually see the way I have the gun set up right now is actually kind of reasonable. And I'll show you just to show you an example. Say the stubby is what I'm using to help lessen the recoil. If I go with this one right here, stubby's got me at 23 precision, 35 control. This one right here, the A6H64, this one's got me at 39 control, 24 precision. So this goes up 1. However, look what it says as far as the accuracy while aiming down sights. So this is pretty bad because this technically should affect my recoil. Okay, so let's take a look. So far pretty solid, a little bit less accurate. Now what happens when I move? Because that's going to be a big deal. Take a look at it. Still fairly reasonable in my opinion. It also does matter when you're shooting. If you're shooting right here where you're about to turn back in, that makes a difference versus if you're just letting it fly when you're not doing that. So there we go. See how inaccurate that is right there? The stubby doesn't have that problem. The rib stubby doesn't give you inaccuracy while you're moving left and right. Strafing seems a lot more reasonable. See me strafing? As long as you're shooting it in bursts no more than 4 or 5 rounds, you should be okay. Probably, if you just keep shooting, then it's going to get crazy pretty quick. Another good one that I've noticed is this one right here, which doesn't give you any penalties for accuracy while moving. The slim angled is another good example if you want to cut back on using 5 points. See that? Still very solid. Look at the tracers. Notice that they're not going all wild all over the place. So now we're fine-tuning the gun to where we need it. I would say it's very important for us to use the hollow point rounds because that could be the difference between a 3-hit and a 4-hit kill. The 20 fast mag is actually a very good option. It's not very expensive, but you still get a faster reload speed, and that does help out a little bit. You can even double up on that if you happen to have 5 extra points at the end of your build by using the mag catch to even lessen that reload time just a little bit more. So that's a good option. The angled and the stubby seem to be my favorite so far. I don't have everything unlocked yet, but I will say though that yeah, this may actually be one of the best ones right here. Greatly reduces recoil at cost of movement speed and accuracy while aiming outside. Well, maybe not. Maybe that might not be the best one. I see a lot of these are taking away accuracy while moving, and I don't want to do that. So far I'm looking at the stubby, the rib stubby, and the angled as your go-to. Now, let's talk about the compensator. So the compensator is a lot more straightforward. I'm just going to tell y'all right now, and I'm going to do a full review on this gun in the future. You'll see a full featured review because this is the gun that I'm prioritizing first. It's going to take a while to master it. So with that, the one that gives you the most precision is the converter, which reduces horizontal recoil in favor of more stable vertical recoil. This makes a huge deal. Just take my word for it. With the ones that we have right now at rank 29 with this weapon, the converter is the best option. And that's why my recoil has been pretty steady. See that? Those controlled bursts right there? That's about where you want it to be. I can't say the same thing for these other ones if we go down the line here. A little bit of diversion to the left and right. Let's see how it looks. It really starts to show when you're strafing. Check this one out. That one's actually pretty good. Let's try it again. Oh wow, that's terrible. Let's try this right here. So this one right here, improved brake that reduces recoil. Yeah, not a bad one, not a bad one. And it's the same cost as the converter. Here's the compensated brake, enhanced brake that minimizes recoil buildup. This one's a little bit more of an expensive one. Seems to be pretty decent, and it should because it's more costly. Oh yeah, this one's solid here. Let's try some targets. Okay. Try this one out. I like that one. That's a good one. Going back to the one that we have in standard. Let's look at that recoil. Again, we're strafing left and right. That's a habit that you want to build. Because there's bloom in these weapons, I'm telling you, strafing is a big deal in this game. Them targets that are further out, it's harder to hit them while strafing. So you want to be real minimal with your movements anyways when you're engaging targets at that kind of range. Because you want to try to make sure you're as accurate as you can. Okay. let's talk about the barrels. So the converter and the brake, I think these three are actually pretty good. Once I start getting more into these suppressors, then I'll start experimenting with those too. But as of right now, I really like the linear comp because of the way it keeps the recoil nice and centered. Where you see that? Where I'm able to compensate the recoil a lot easier because it's just going straight up instead of going left and right. So you don't get a lot of randomized recoil that you're going to have to compensate for, and that helps you focus on just aiming on target rather than having to compensate for where the gun is shooting. So that's a really good thing. The other one is, it's kind of a competition between these two right here. Now I will say that I actually like this one more because it says that it, yeah, whoa. Jojo, I'm praying for you, bro. I'm praying for you. Hey, man, you gotta build better habits in this game. You gotta... Very random thing to say on a random stream. But alright, so check it out. Boom. Check it out. This one's supposed to give you more prolonged accuracy for longer bursts. Now, obviously, when you're standing, that's the worst of it. So let's take a look here. Yeah, there you go. Now let's compare that to this one. Seems like it's kind of similar, right? Let's have a look at how it looks while moving. And this is kind of where I think this is where it makes the biggest difference between these two barrels. When I'm strafing, look at the accuracy while strafing with this particular barrel. Okay, just keep an eye on it. Let's try hitting some targets. Switching it back. Let's try this one now. That's kind of a terrible example. Excellent. Alright, so there's the heavy extender. So either one of these should work just fine. I don't recommend these because the bullets are slower. So you can go with these two right here. One of these should be good. Okay, so as of right now where it stands, we have 15 points remaining. Hollow point is a must-have. Angled, while it's not a must-have, now you have the option to go ahead and get one of those ribbed. Okay, or if you want, you can go with the angled. Or if you want to cut back on one, you can even drop down to the alloy vertical. The alloy vertical should still give you decent enough performance for anything within 60 yards. So. As you see this one, similar performance, right? Slower ADS speed though. Well, where it could make up for it, if you go with this one, is that you can then add the blue laser. The blue laser should give you better accuracy while moving. And so this may be an optimal setup for the build altogether, where we have the 20 fast mag, we have the vertical grip, which does no bad detriments. Then we have the blue laser. Then we have the heavy extended barrel with better prolonged accuracy. Then we have the converter for the better vertical recoil, basically gets rid of the horizontal recoil. And let's see how that all comes together. First we're going to test it in between targets. One of those rounds went way out there. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Oh, my apologies. My apologies. What gun is this? This is the one right here. I was like, well, we're using the wrong one. There we go. Yeah, this is pretty solid right here. Let's go ahead and hit some targets, see how it handles. Look at that. Look at that, man. So much better right there. Awesome. Now that, excellent performance with this setup, man. This is such a good freaking build. And I'm moving left and right, and I'm still staying very much so on target. This is a major improvement. If I try to do this, oh man, compare that with this gun. I'm all over the place, just all over the place. So I think I've managed to help optimize the build for this weapon. With those changes that we made, we've maxed out the gun, we've got the absolute most out of it. This may actually be a meta build for now until I come up with something a little bit better. Now, the downside to this particular setup is that we only have the 20 round mag, but it's a faster reload, so that may help you get back into the fight sooner. There are better options for the under barrel attachment, but I feel like the bread and butter here is the converter, the heavy extender, and the hollow point. Those are going to be the ones that I recommend the absolute most as of right now with this gun. Then the blue laser and the vertical, this combo here seems to work pretty decent with staying on target. So I'm really impressed with this. Really impressed with this. Yeah, this is it. I might try this same setup and see if I could try a different. So let's rebuild this one. So this one had the 25 round, which is taking up way too much points. All right, we still have the hollow points. We still have this barrel right here, and then we have the converter just like before. Now let's go ahead and see what we could do here. So back with the blue laser, and then that gives us 20. We can use up to 20 on one of these right here. Okay. We do have a 15 here. We have this one right here. Again, I'm not trying to have any kind of moving, basically accuracy detriment while moving. So we're just gonna build the same exact gun. This is great. This is perfect. Yeah, I think this is it right here. Well, I hope you guys like that. That's just a real quick stream. I just wanted to cover this weapon real quick, but I'll be doing a full-on review with footage in game and everything. Of course, that's going to be coming out later on, so just be on the lookout for that.